Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Now I have been sick for the past week. I think it might still sound like it a little bit when I'm talking, but I feel a million times better, so that's great. But I didn't really have as much time to do today's video as I was hoping, so I thought I would sit down and share some different rhythms and routines that are really working for us in this season of life, knowing that they probably won't work for everybody, knowing that they probably won't work in another season of life, but I wanted to share them in case they actually do work for you now, because I don't know, I feel like we found some really good ones, and I'm someone that used to run away from the word routine, and I prefer the word rhythm, but they're fairly similar, honestly, but I'm finding these are really working, so let's talk about them. Since the week starts on Sunday, it makes sense to start talking about Sunday. So in the last, I would say year, maybe a little over a year, we have really tried to be more intentional with being restful on Sundays. And so our Sunday mornings are very busy. We are at church at 8 o'clock setting up, and we don't get home till 1 o'clock or so. So the first part is wild and crazy. But after that, then most of us are introverts in our home, and then it is time to recharge. Sometimes the one lone extrovert will have a friend over or go to a friend's house so he can also get his time. But the rest of us kind of have this understanding that for at least a little while after church, if we have nothing up, we are just going to chill on our own generally. And I've been trying to be very intentional with making sure that I'm not working on Sundays, that I'm just doing things that are restful, that will recharge my battery for the week. And then so for me, this looks like reading, writing some poetry, maybe watching some YouTube, maybe playing some video games, just really mellow things. And I find that very helpful. Being creative in some way is a good one for me. So I feel like it makes the working during the week easier mentally, because I know on Sunday I can just rest, and that has been a really good mental shift. Now some Sundays we are busy, we are having a meal somewhere or we're out doing something, but when possible, whenever it works for us, this is how we try to run our Sundays. Oh, I should also mention some things I don't do on Sunday generally are the dishes. I will empty and load the dishwasher, but I won't wash any dishes. And I don't cook supper on Sunday. So after church on Sunday, we come home and we make pizza from scratch. We buy gluten-free pizza crusts and then we just throw our toppings on. So that's lunch. And then supper is fend for yourself / cereal or toast or little things, easy things, or whatever else someone wants to make themselves. So that's what we do on Sunday. And then leading into Monday I have more cleaning to do because of Sunday. So I have the dishes to do, things that I've left off, which it kind of mentally bothers me on Sunday having dirty dishes there. But I also like knowing that I can have the rest. So it sometimes is a little bit fighting within myself, but then I do them on Monday. And Mondays just feel a little bit more cleaning in general, picking up after the weekend, and usually the two littles are not around because they're at school or daycare, and so then I can clean up without having it all be undone right behind me. And then one thing we've been doing this year with our school is our loop schedule, which I've shared about quite a bit. And when I did my homeschool week in the life video, I shared more in detail kind of what that looks like in our homeschool. And now that I just got over being sick again, I'm going to be doing hopefully filming a homeschool week in the life next week. That would be ideal, but we'll see. But I'm really enjoying our loop schedule because we are quite unschooly and interest-led. This loop schedule helps us to come together and do something together each day. So if you missed it, I think it's on my homeschool channel where I initially talked about our loop schedule, but then I have that whole homeschool week in the life here as well. Screen time has changed a lot in this last year, and now that it's January, it has also changed again. For the last couple months, how we have been operating with screen time is Monday through Thursday, kids can do screens after their list is done after supper. So usually their lists are done by lunch, and the afternoon then they can have free time but not screen time. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they can do it after their lists are done. They don't have a list for Sunday, but Friday and Saturday after the list is done after lunch. So there's more screen time available then, and they don't do it like the whole entire time. Like sometimes we have things up, but that's kind of like the general rule. They still ask if they have permission and stuff, but those are the general rules. So then they generally know they can't ask on Monday or Tuesday before supper because it's not generally allowed, except in the winter, or except here in January, especially last week and the week before. It was so cold. So I've said if it's not super freezing cold, so if it's like -40 or colder, then they can do screen time after lunch, because everyone gets a little squirrely when it gets that cold and we just try to survive. But if it's warmer than -40, then I want them to spend 10 minutes outside first, and then they can still do screens after lunch, because even if it is warmer than -30, like it's generally not like super warm. So I want them outside a bit, but I don't want them to like freeze. So that's how we've been running screen time right now. It's working for this season. I'm always looking forward to summer though, when we need less screen time, because then we can spend more time outside here. Whereas I know people that live farther south and the summers are kind of unbearable. You guys kind of like flip compared to our summer and winter. In addition, a really cool thing I've been doing for the last like 4 or 5, I don't know, I think since the fall, is doing a Tuesday evening date night with my oldest. And it's a super chill. We play Stardew Valley Tuesdays when she's free. Once a month, usually she has a class. Other than that, those other Tuesdays, we just have some time together, play Stardew Valley. We play for a little bit, put the little ones down to bed, and then come back and play some more. And we've been playing Stardew Valley on the computer with a mod called Ridgeside, which just adds like a whole nother element to it, and there's like a bunch more people to get to know, and she really likes the socializing aspect of the game, so that's what she does while I like make all the money. And so that's just been fun. And then there's Stardew Valley is a chill enough game that we can have like conversations while we're playing, and I think that's really good. I would love to have something like that I could do with each of my kids. My 10-year-old, he likes a lot more like fast physical, like games or things that you can't just also have a conversation during, so still thinking about that one, but I am liking this Tuesday evening thing. It's funny, as I was writing this out, I was like, so I have something Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and now we're on to Wednesday. Wednesdays I have just made library day, and I am not terrible at like forgetting about library books or getting fines or anything like that. Like I'm usually pretty good at it, but I've just found that I go out Wednesday afternoons anyway. I have something else that I do, and I was like, I just need to peg a library onto that, and then I don't have to worry about having my books be like too late or anything. So Wednesdays are just a library day, and I feel like I'm slowly scaling back our library hauls a little bit, leading up to, you know, putting the house up for sale and moving and all that stuff. I don't want to have as many books around. There's still a lot, but I like having that like same day of the week, and then you know your books are always due on Wednesday, so it just makes sense for me. Unfortunately, on my list here I have nothing on Thursdays. Thursdays don't have anything pegged to them. Friday though, for the last few months, Jared and I have been doing a like at-home date on Fridays. So we have supper with the kids, and then it depends. Sometimes we'll start our date before putting the littles down, or sometimes it's after. But we'll just like come into my office and close the door and play a game. Something where the door is closed. Otherwise we have like kids hovering, even if they know they're not really supposed to be around. They just, it's like a magnet. They just get drawn in. So yeah, we'll play a game. We'll watch a movie. We've actually been playing Stardew Valley as well. We have a different game, and we've been using Stardew Valley Expanded. and that's been really nice and chill. And like, once again, we can have conversations while we're doing that. And then we've been playing quite a bit of Wingspan. I've shared a few little clips of that here before. So those are like the main things. We've been sick the last little bit, so nothing has happened, but Wingspan and Stardew Valley and the odd time like a movie or a show. And that's just been nice because we've never been big regular date night people because we're homebodies. And so like to go on a date night when you have kids, it's like you gotta bring them somewhere and then pick them up, and like it's more time outside of the house. So this way we can have some time together. We don't have to leave the house, and like the big kids are old enough that they can either watch the little kids if the little kids are still awake, or we'll do it after the little kids are in bed and the big kids are free to fend for themselves, and we give them more screen time on Friday nights as well. They get an extra half hour of screen time at the tacked on to the end of the evening, so that we're guaranteed a little bit more time to play our game or whatever it is. If you guys are like both people in a couple are introverts or like homebodies, highly recommend the home date thing. There's been a few times too, on our anniversary we did it in the afternoon. It was like a longer thing because it was our anniversary, so we started in the afternoon and then we ate supper together, and then we did Wingspan and Stardew Valley that day, I think. So you can make it like as long as you want, as long as you can with the age of kids that you have. And then going on to Saturday, our last like rhythm and routine that we have right now is that Saturdays are a family time. So what we've done, we've been doing this now for quite some time. It's probably been almost a year. I thought this up a while ago, and what we do is the 4 oldest, so myself, Jared, and our 2 oldest kids, because we started this before the foster kids came, we each take turns picking an activity that we're going to do. No one is allowed to complain about the activity because they will have their turn, you know, down the line, and then no one's going or allowed to complain during their time, so it works out. It's interesting because people like tend to pick the same things. So one week one person picks, the next week the next person picks. We just go in age order so that we always remember who's next. And we've been playing like some slower video games, some faster video games, some board games. We've been watching some movies. Now, since the littles have come back with us, sometimes they join in, sometimes we do it after they're in bed. It just depends on what the activity is, how tired we are, that kind of thing. But it's been really nice to have that, like, we know we're going to be spending some family time together on the weekend, and we generally try to do it Saturdays because we generally try to have Saturday evenings free because we get up and get going to church really early, so that works well. Sometimes if it doesn't happen on Saturday, we'll bump it to Sunday. Sometimes we'll do both days. Sometimes we'll do another one during the week. It depends, but like at least we know that Saturday we are doing something together as a family. And then when it's nicer out, then we have like more variety in what we're doing. We can go on a hike or do different things. But right now, in the midst of winter, we're just doing like easy at-home stuff. So those are our current routines, rhythms that are working for us, that I can remember. I'm pretty sure that's the main ones. If you guys have some that are working for you, I would love to hear them. Like maybe there's different things that you're doing that we can implement, and I just always like to hear how people are organizing and running their lives as well. So thanks so much for being here, guys.